opinions you're about to hear on this show are strictly those of the panel.
Today's digital landscape with the spread of false information can lead to dangerous outcomes. It's crucial for everyone to think critically and verify sources and reflect on the impact of what they share. Let's promote responsible communication to ensure that truth prevails and actions remain rooted in reality.
The following program is rated TV MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. I know it's a sad day for our country right now because we've had so many bad tragedies happening in the last few days. I heard we just had a shooting at a naval academy this evening too. It's just heartbreaking that we're in a country right now where we're killing each other instead of trying to protect ourselves from invasion or whatever from other countries. It's heartbreaking. But before we start, I would like to give a few minutes of silence or a few moments of silence in the name of Charlie Kirk, because he was just a young dad, a husband, and American that loved his country. Graduated from high school and started Turning Point through hard work and dedication. He was a Christian, and he did everything he could in his short life to improve this country and other people around him, even putting himself in danger because I know he was taken down by a lone shooter, but he'd been in scuffles before, but he still did it. He still went out and still went to campuses and tried to share with others simply because he believed in it. That's who he was. And it's sad that we no longer have him anymore to inspire other young people or to get other people to decide that they want to do the same thing. And there's a lot of people that are doing exactly what I'm doing. I get threats all the time. I get lots of threats. But it's not going to stop me from feeling like I'm sharing information that maybe you wouldn't have gotten somewhere else, or having a guest on or whatever about something, talking about things that you might not have thought about before. But I think it's important that we don't quit. And that's why I picked this up today, listening to some other people speaking, that we are Charlie Kirk now. We can't let his legacy die. We have to keep striving to share the truth, to get people to love themselves and hopefully be better to others and want to share that with others. You know, their love for humankind, basically. Because it doesn't matter what we look like on the outside. It's what's in here that should matter to people. What's in your heart and how you share it with others, to me, I think is more important than anything, honestly. Compassion, which we're lacking right now. And when you try to share it with others, sometimes they get hostile with you for some reason. And that is one thing I don't understand, how someone could get mad at you for trying to help them. But apparently we do have people like that right now that I guess hate themselves more than they want to feel better about it. So until they decide to do that, we can't force them. All we can do is give the information and hope they put it to good use. That's why I started doing what I'm doing. I was going through depression and a few other family problems in my life, and I started making short little videos, acting stupid and saying crazy stuff, or singing, dancing, or doing stuff. And my friend told me, hey, why don't you put that on TikTok? It's a good little video. So that's where I started. I started doing that. And then I was already on YouTube, mostly in chats, talking to other people that like comic books and stuff like that. And one day someone said, they're doing shorts on YouTube now. You can put some of your videos over here and start doing videos over here. And I started thinking, what? Really? So I did. And then I met a few other people and I decided to start doing live streams too. So, I'm not doing it because I think, oh, one day I'm going to be an overnight sensation or I'm going to make $1 million or anything like that. I just like it. I think it's fun. I play games on here. I've met so many great people. And I got a little niche of people that I feel like they think a lot like I do. And they enjoy comic books, playing Pathfinder games, role-playing games, basically, things like that. So tonight I wanted to talk mostly about what happened to our country and what happened when Charlie Kirk was shot, doing what he loved, which was trying to help others, help themselves, basically, with information. And he was very inspiring to many, many young people, even people in other countries. I heard some people saying that they had memorials set up and stuff in other countries with pictures of him and flowers and stuff. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to share. I'm going to start with what happened before he was shot. And I've got a video supposedly that the government so far has put out showing him walking, the shooter walking towards the campus, and he's walking with a limp because apparently he's got the gun crammed down the pant leg of one side of his hip up into his pullover, so that no one would see him carrying a weapon to the campus. What's shocking to me is how I guess if you live in a certain states, they don't even check you if you take a gun like that on campus. So I don't know. I don't know the laws in Utah for their campus, but I guess each state has to have their own laws because it's the people's choice, and that's how it should be. And it's sad that there's some people that would take advantage of that to hurt others because they don't like their point of view or because they're a Christian, something like that. So it's really sad. But that's the first thing I want to bring up. I'm going to take this picture down that I put up I put that up because I made that little picture and I posted it on my page. But here's the first thing I wanted to show everyone about what I saw today. And it was so that's the wrong one, darn it. I always do that. I think it's this one. Darn it, maybe it's at the beginning. I'm sorry, guys. I always do this for some reason. Here it is. It gets moved around. But this right here was the first thing that came across my timeline. Supposedly, it's showing this gentleman right here because they've already put the pictures out. And I'm going to show you as I saw him come across it the last 2 days on my timeline and other people sending them to me and stuff. So this was supposedly because they had asked for people to share Ring doorbell cams, cell phone footage, anything that they could get a hold of to help them put the story together. But see how he's kind of walking like his hips messed up? It's like he's got the gun down his pants, basically. And he's just trying to get there. So he really wanted to get there to do whatever it was he was planning on doing. Working really hard at it. And that's afterward, him coming back through the woods, going towards the same place. So wherever he was going, it's where he came from. And honestly, he had to have a vehicle or something because I couldn't see him walking that far like he did on the way there with his limping that way. and making it, you see. So on the way back, you could definitely tell he was going a lot faster. So he definitely didn't have his weapon on him on the way back. So him leaving it was definitely what I feel happened. But that was the first thing, because I remember I was talking to someone on the phone, and it came across a thing, and it showed the live stream. I was watching a part of the live stream. Different people were streaming from the campus, showing their friends and stuff there, and other people closer to where Charlie was sitting. And then I actually saw the video of him being shot. But I don't really want to show that tonight, because I think many people have already seen it enough. You don't need to see it a million times to know what happened. So I'm going to share this, because this is when the governor came out and they talked on camera about what they saw and what they felt about it. So I want to show it as it came out to me and share it with you. So here we go.
This is a dark day for our state. It's a tragic day for our nation. And I want to be very clear that this is a political assassination. We are celebrating 250 years of the founding of this great nation. That founding document, the Declaration of Independence, that this great experiment on which we embarked together 250 years ago, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain unalienable rights. The first one of those is life. And today, a life was taken. Charlie Kirk was first and foremost a husband and a dad to two young children. He was also very much politically involved, and that's why he was here on campus. Charlie believed in the power of free speech and debate to shape ideas and to persuade people. Historically, our university campuses in this nation and here in the state of Utah have been the place where truth and ideas are formulated and debated. And that's what he does. He comes on college campuses and he debates. Mm-hmm. That is foundational to the formation of our country, to our most basic constitutional rights. And when someone takes the life of a person because of their ideas or their ideals, then that very constitutional foundation is threatened.
And that's where I feel we are right now. I don't know what the answer is to it, but we've got to do something. We've got to do something different, because we can't have people afraid to talk in public, to meet with other people, and be afraid to talk about whether they're Catholic or Muslim or Christian, Pentecostal, or any of those things, or a rally, or any other political event, and be afraid that we can't speak out because we might die. That's a horrible way to live on a daily basis. We can't do that. We're supposed to be a country of freedom, which means you have the right and the freedom to go out on the street corner and yell at the top of your lungs, "I love this country," or whatever it is you want to say. You have the right to do that on public land. We're one of the only countries in the world, I think, that even has that right. But if we don't have that right, what do we have? Nothing, as I see it. And then it's up to us to not be quiet and to keep voicing our opinions. But this is another video that came across my timeline. I've got a lot of different ones about people's reactions, stuff that was on the news about trying to find the shooter. all different things. So I'm going to be playing on quite a few different things today. This is all stuff that's came over my timeline since yesterday, or sent to me. Most of them are stuff that just came across my timeline, mostly news reports. Those would be something that someone sent to me. So, but this is something that came across my timeline and I wanted to share it. And it was eerily similar to me. This reminded me of the Butler shooting. You have people with pictures showing the person on the roof off in the distance just a little way, but they could see him running across the roof. And I was wondering, this person, whoever did this, did they tell anyone? Did they share it with the security that was supposed to be guarding and helping protect Charlie? I don't know. And that's the hard part, is that we have to wait until the investigation unfolds and they share information about who knew what when, and how many people did see that. But so far, I've been kind of happy with everything and how it's unfolded, and people sharing information. Like I showed you the video camera from someone's doorbell. And they called the police and said, hey, this just looks like the guy that you put out in that outfit. And it's near the campus. So I'm sure a lot of people were looking at all their stuff. But this was kind of spooky, though, when I saw this. This is from the Gateway Pundit. It shows individual running across the roof of the Lucy Center moments after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. So when I first saw it, I saw him be shot, and I saw the graphic one because I didn't know what I was going to see. I mean, when I was watching it, because it was live. So it happened so quickly, and people started screaming and everything. But when I saw him fall back, and I saw where he had been shot, I pretty much knew he wasn't going to survive, because that is a bad place to be shot. If he'd been shot somewhere else, they might have been able to put pressure on it and save him. But it was just devastating. I just started crying. I was just heartbroken over it, as I'm sure others were. All I could think about was his wife and kids, and it was tough. But I wanted to share that, because that came across my timeline, because I'm trying to do it in order as I found it or saw it on my own timeline, and how it unfolded for everyone, basically, because this is something I don't think I'm ever going to forget. The day before 9/11, that this has happened, in our remembrance of that. So it was already kind of sad. People were already kind of like not, in a real talkative mood, and kind of like, just making their way through the day, because it just is sad. We're coming up to another anniversary of a devastating event that happened to our country, and then have this happen. It's another devastation, and it just seems like we're getting more and more things like that happening, and all we can do is wait to get the answers. I just pray that we do get the answers, that they don't. I don't believe that Trump and his new cabinet will sweep it under the rug. I'm hoping that they're going to be able to get us the information as fast as they can. But all we can do is wait and see, because honestly, what choice do we have? But all I know is that I'm not going to go off half-cocked and attack people or point fingers at people when I don't know yet, when I don't have answers. And that's why I wanted to show this, because I want to show you how the progression has gone along, and how our president and our vice president and other people in office, the police department, things like that, are handling it. And I feel like they're doing the best they can with the information they have. But this I thought was interesting, especially when it came across, because it was so quickly how fast about Charlie Kirk, that our president of the United States responded to it, because he knew how much this guy was loved. Even though he was only 31 years old, he had made a huge impact already in his life through the turning point that he had pretty much done. And he'd gone to see Trump, had met him. They had met many times. And I think Trump was proud of this young man. So it says that President Trump from the Oval Office has just addressed the assassination of Charlie Kirk and declared he will go after those who perpetrated this political violence. And it says, my administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, include the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and anyone else who brings order to our country. So basically, I heard a few people complaining about him saying some of the things he just said in that little tiny bit that I read. And I'm like, he's a president of the United States. What do you think he's going to say? He's trying to protect our country from terrorists, because any person that would do something like this is a terrorist. It's a domestic terrorist, but they're still a terrorist, because a terrorist does stuff like this to instill fear and cause you to not want to leave home, to make you shut up and sit down and comply to what they demand of you, not what you demand of your own life in your own family. So I think what Trump did coming out made a lot of people realize that we have a president that cares about us, and that he's already got his people in action to try to make sure that we can do the best we can to try to keep us as safe as we can, especially when the bad guys realize that there's no place they can go, that we're gonna find you and we are gonna bring you justice. And I think it does help. It's just like knowing that your parents are in the other room, and that when they come and they check your window and they make sure the doors are locked, that they're doing the best they can to keep you safe. And I think that's what President Trump was trying to relay when he came out with this speech. But I'm going to go ahead and open this up so you guys can hear.
To my great fellow Americans, I am filled with grief and anger at the heinous assassination of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth. Charlie was also a man of deep, deep faith. And we take comfort in the knowledge that he is now at peace with God in heaven. Our prayers are with his wife, Erica, the two young, beloved children, and his entire family, who he loved more than anything in the world. We ask God to watch over them in this terrible hour of heartache and pain. This is a dark moment for America. Charlie Kirk traveled the nation, joyfully engaging with everyone interested in good faith debate. His mission was to bring young people into the political process, which he did better than anybody ever, to share his love of country and to spread the simple words of common sense. On campuses nationwide, he championed his ideas with courage, logic, humor, and grace. It's a long past time for all Americans and the media to confront the fact that violence and murder are the tragic consequence of demonizing those with whom you disagree day after day, year after year, in the most hateful and despicable way possible. For years, those on the radical left have compared wonderful Americans like Charlie to Nazis and the world's worst mass murderers and criminals. This kind of rhetoric is directly responsible for the terrorism that we're seeing in our country today, and it must stop right now. My administration will find each and every one of those who contributed to this atrocity and to other political violence, including the organizations that fund it and support it, as well as those who go after our judges, law enforcement officials, and everyone else who brings order to our country. from the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others. Radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died: the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country. An assassin tried to silence him with a bullet, but he failed, because together we will ensure that his voice, his message, and his legacy will live on for countless generations to come. Today, because of this heinous act, Charlie's voice has become bigger and grander than ever before, and it's not even close. May God bless his memory. May God watch over his family. And may God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
That was wonderful. I thought he did a very presidential job trying to get us to feel a little safer, because he has people on finding this person and bringing them to justice. And that's all, that's all I expect from my president. I know he's not able to stop everything or do everything, but I felt he did what he needed to do to let us know that they were on it. They were on guard now. They were going to try to find this person and stop this person from being able to hurt someone else. So hopefully they'll have him in custody very soon, because we got everybody looking for him now. We've got all of our doorbells, all of our cell phones, traffic cams. I mean, just everywhere. We've got tons of people looking out for this person, and hopefully we'll have them. But this next thing I wanted to share, I thought was pretty good, because I wanted to share what the different agencies were saying about what they've got and what they're doing. And then I'm going to do some responses of people when they found out. It's very emotional. It's tough. But we have to deal with this. We can't pretend it didn't happen. We can't let stuff like this happen every day and do nothing. Changing the channel doesn't fix the problem. Sharing facts with people so that we can make the right choices about whether or not you want to go out. If you don't feel safe, then you should make yourself feel safe, make your family feel safe. But talking about it and getting it off your heart, the weight of it, that's important. People don't think it is, especially men, because men just don't want to share their feelings or talk about their feelings. But it's important that we all talk about it, because this is something it's going to weigh on us. But I feel that the more we share and the more we understand, we realize that we're not that different. And when you realize that most people want the same thing, we just think about different ways to get what we want. And it's not always getting it the same way, but we usually want the same thing. We want to feel free. We want to feel safe. And we want to feel loved. And that's one thing I think Charlie Kirk did. He constantly talked about his family, his wife, his kids, and God, his relationship with God. And he tried to share that with other people. And so he lived his life the way he loved his life. I mean, he did it because he wanted to do it. And he got him killed. But how much more could you possibly do to die a hero than he did? Because he is a hero, not just to his wife and his kids, but to us as an American, and his pride in this country and his pride for freedom. So I want to share this This is another thing I thought was pretty interesting and truthful. So here we go.
Through all that work last night, we were able to make a few breakthroughs. We were able to track the movements of the shooter. Starting at 11:52 a.m., the subject arrived on campus, shortly away from campus. We have tracked his movements onto the campus, through the stairwells, up to the roof, across the roof to a shooting location. After the shooting, we were able to track his movements as he moved to the other side of the building, jumped off of the building, and fled off of the campus and into a neighborhood. Our investigators have worked through those neighborhoods, contacting anybody they can with doorbell cameras, witnesses, and have thoroughly worked through those communities, trying to identify any leads. We do have good video footage of this individual. We are not going to release that at this time. We are working through some technologies and some ways to identify this individual. If we are unsuccessful, we will reach out to you as the media and we will push that publicly to help us identify them. But we are confident in our abilities right now, and we would like to move forward in a manner that keeps everyone safe and moves this process appropriately. Last night I communicated with Erica. The family's devastated. As a commissioner of public safety, as a father, as a husband, I can only imagine what that family's going through. The heinous event that happened yesterday is not Utah. This is not what we're known for. Over the past several weeks, we've seen the state come together to help families in mourning, come together as a community to show what Utah is known for a state of character, of service, of camaraderie, of a neighboring feel. We will not stand for what happened yesterday. We are exhausting every lead. We have every officer invested in this, every investigator, every local agency. The outpouring of support from the law enforcement community has been astounding.
So to me, that was another encouraging release by the press and by the agencies that were looking into the shooting. And they seemed like they were on the ball and that they were being upfront. He was calm. He said he had talked to Charlie's wife. So I felt like they were being open and honest with the public, and to just be patient, basically. And a lot of people don't want to do that. The first thing you want to do is it's fight or flight. You know, everybody wants to get off their chair and run out and start doing stuff, but sometimes that's worse to do that. It just puts more out there that the police have to dig through. Because you saw the people. If you saw any of the videos of the shooting, thousands of people running in different directions, that is a crime scene. So they have to go through all of that. And then they also, the part, like you said, the stairwell, watching the person going up the stairwell and then not going down the stairwell because they jumped off the side of the building and ran, that person. But we have to trust our agencies to do their jobs. That's what we have voted for. That's why we pay taxes. We want these people to do their job, and we need to hold them accountable and make sure that they are doing it and that they are transparent and share the information. But we have to be patient too. We have to be able to say, well, we're going to give them some time to give us some more updates. And so far, I feel like that they have been, giving us information. But here is another one that came across my timelines. This is an actual newscast. This is, it says that it's U.S. Representative Jason Chavez, who was at the event. He was a person that was actually there, and he is going to be interviewed. So let's watch this.
I want his wife and the country to know that the last question he took, the last thing he talked about to people in Utah, thousands of people that wanted to come hear him, is that his message was one of love, of Jesus Christ, of his belief in prayer. And he talked about that from his heart, and you could feel it. And he's done that multiple times before. But I consider it an honor to be there. It makes me mad. I'm so mad that this happened in our backyard. It's an embarrassment. Now, I got to tell you, I used to be in Congress. I represented this area. We're better than this. But there's somebody out there who's evil, absolute, total, complete evil, and they need to be taken down. Our law enforcement, I love them. They got to do a better job. There is no communication. You have 100,000 students between BYU and the University of Utah. They say somebody's in custody, then they say, oh, well, it's not the shooter. Right now, police are still pouring in. It's almost 3 hours later. They got to communicate with us. Is there a shooter that's still out there? And if so, what are we going to do to catch this evil person and make sure that he receives justice? That's what we're feeling in this community right now. But his message of love of God, of Jesus Christ, is one that I hope is part of his lasting legacy.
Well, you can see the emotion, the raw emotion in him for this interview, because he was at the event and saw it unfold. And what he said was basically what I've heard a lot of people say: how can you come on the news or tell reporters that you have this, that, and the other, and you don't? You see what I mean? We have to get better at that. Just like you said, the whole thing in Butler was just a shambles when you have none of the people that are supposed to be guarding the people from this kind of stuff working together and talking to each other to ensure that everybody's talking to each other to know if there's someone. Because if one person's on the radio yelling and he's on the wrong channel, how does that help? So the fact that it doesn't seem like anybody wants to share anything with anyone else is not a good thing. We need any agencies, if you have a security team and they're going to be guarding you specifically around you, and you have cops there, on campus police and the regular police, they should all know that you're all going to be there and this is what the plan is. I don't see how that's not common sense to have that already laid out and have it ready to go. And that's kind of scary in a way. Now that I know more about what's going on, is the fact that it's still after Butler. You'd think that some of these people would have said, in our state, this is what we're going to do, and this is how we're going to do it. The governors in these states, you need to talk to their agencies and say, I want everyone to be able to talk to each other. We have to have communication to keep people safe. And I don't know. I just don't see why so many people drag their feet. That's what it seems like to me. And I just think it's ridiculous. But here we go. Let me go to the next thing. Let's see. Okay, now this is an actual person that posted something with their reaction about what they thought was happening. And I think that he posted this not very long after the president gave his speech, because I told you after we listened to some of it that people were upset that he said it was a political assassination. So I think it was. I think it was a political assassination, but this person's point of view is a little different. And that's why I tried to choose different points of views than just mine or a few other people that I talked to about it the last 2 days. So I want to share this so that we can all listen to him. It says, to the mainstream media, stop minimizing Charlie Kirk's murder by calling it a political assassination. It was a religious assassination, and we all know it. Now, that's this person's point of view. So here we go.
I really wish people would stop calling the Charlie Kirk murder a political assassination. He wasn't murdered because he's a Republican or because he talks about the Constitution. He wasn't running for office. He was murdered because he espouses the teachings of Jesus Christ, and he was the best there is at it. He was murdered because he was changing the hearts and minds of our next generation of leaders on topics like abortion and transgenderism and all of these satanic ideas that the left has spent decades convincing our young people that they are acceptable and normal behaviors. Charlie was taking those young minds that would have otherwise been damned to hell, and he was giving them back to Christ. This was a religious assassination. And when you call it political, you minimize not only what Charlie stood for and his primary identity, you minimize the persecution of Christians around the world, which is probably the intent of the mainstream media anyway, because they never report on the thousands of Christians being slaughtered around the world. Now, for you Christians out there, you know exactly what's taking place here. So it's time for us to stop being lambs for the slaughter, because we have the wrath of God on our side. Romans 8:31 says, if God is for us, who can be against us? So it's time for every single Christian and conservative out there to go get yourselves some training, arm yourselves, arm your loved ones, and be ready for the fight. Be ready to defend yourselves. The insane left and the trans cult might as well be ISIS at this point. The time to stick your head in the sand and hope it doesn't come to your door is over, because the war has already started. The question is, will you be a lamb or will you be a lion?
Okay, so that was definitely a different point of view from this American citizen who has the right to have a point of view, just like you do. And if you believe in something, you should speak out. You should speak out and tell others what your belief is and how you would handle the situation. Well, I already have my advanced concealed carry. I've already went through all the training and all that stuff. I took CPR training. I've taken different types of training just in case, if I'm ever there, that I can try to help someone, because I'd hope that they try to help me or someone in my family if I was ever in a position where I needed that, from a car accident or any tornadoes that we have here, a flood or earthquake or a devastating forest fire. There's lots of tragedies like that, different things like that. But staying calm and trying to stand back and think for a few seconds, what's the best way to handle the situation and not go off half-cocked. You cannot let anger or anything else. I wrote a note that I wanted to talk about real quickly. I wrote this after I had a couple of discussions today with people this morning, and I wrote this. It says, I wrote this down to read everyone. If you or someone you know is experiencing any type of thing where you feel like you might want to hurt someone or help hurt yourself, to please call someone to talk to them, or call this number. I'm going to put it in the chat for suicide or wanting to hurt someone, because sometimes it goes hand in hand. That's why you have a suicide after someone hurt somebody else. That was one of the things that I wanted to share today. And I've shared it a couple times, especially when it's something about a tragedy like this, because all of us know someone that needs help in your life. It may not be your family member or something, but we all know somebody who needs someone to listen to them or to talk to. So one of the things I was thinking about today, listening to some of the people's comments and stuff in some of these spaces this morning, I don't know if any of you know what that is. A space is, I think it was Periscope before, but Elon bought it and they put it on X, and now they're using it. And a lot of people are in spaces all day long sharing. Some of them are video spaces, and they share information, links, and they hand out microphones so everyday people can come in there and talk about something or ask questions or share something they might have already found out that other people may not know. So it's really opened up a huge gateway for you to talk to somebody all the way on the other side of the world. Talk to people from Australia and England, South America, just everywhere, anywhere, Scotland, Greenland, anywhere that someone might have a satellite or internet connection, that you're able to talk to them. But another thing I wanted to say before I go to the next thing is that the truth is that people tend to focus on one thing a person might say instead of the action of that person. Like I'm always saying, actions speak louder than words. So if a person's constantly reaching out and trying to help other people, you should be able to look at their actions and know they mean what they say, instead of just with the words coming out of their mouth. They're doing something. They're not just standing there talking. So if we could all just take a minute and think about the big picture, about where we want to go. What do we want to leave for our kids or even our grandchildren? And say, okay, well, this is what I want and this is what I want to leave. So I'm going to make some changes and I'm going to try to start working towards that goal. If we could all do that, I just don't see us being stoppable. I think everyone will understand and want to help once they get that choice put to them too. So I just wanted to say that real quick. But I want to share this next thing that I saw. This was another report that was put out because remember, like I said, they kept saying that they were going to put out as much information as they could. Well, this was the next thing I saw. I came across my timeline. It says, we are asking for the public's help to identify this person of interest in connection with the fatal shooting of Charlie Kirk at the Utah Valley University. Now, when I saw that, you would think, well, it could be someone who saw something or whatever else, except I had already seen that other video from the Ring doorbell camera and saw the guy with the one leg kind of like limping along, hobbling. And basically this looks like what he was wearing. So I was like, I think this is the shooter. So I thought it was great that the FBI did put this out and they had a link on here and everything. And I don't know how many people might have sent information in, but I'm hoping it works. I'm hoping that the things that they're stepping up and doing is trying to get more people to do something, to make a choice if they did see it. So I just was impressed with it, that they actually are doing what they said they were going to do when they said that they're going to get people to step up and try to catch this person as fast as they can and prosecute them. So it looks like they're all in and they're really working hard to try to get the information out. Now, I don't know if anything news happened in the last couple of hours because I've been busy trying to get all these links open and get things set up for the show, because I wasn't wanting to talk about this. I was wanting to talk about a book someone had written, but this to me is way more important that we talk about this and try to understand what happened, and that our government and our agencies are working on trying to fix what's going on. So I want to share this next thing that I saw that came across my timeline. And this is their little video that they made and came what they're wanting to share. And I'm wanting to share different perspectives so that everybody has something to make you think about, wow, that makes sense, and then share something else and share something else, because each person thinks different and we all absorb information differently. But when I saw this, I thought it was interesting. It says this person, Adolf Elmer, put out, says, what's going on? And when I watched it, I thought it was pretty interesting. So here we go. Turn the music down. They're talking about the two guys' hand movements and stuff. They're just playing music. Those are the two people that were arrested or brought in. So I wanted you to see that because this was their perspective, showing different things as it came across their information. They put it together and made this video trying to show what they believe. And a lot of people were talking about this part right here. I'm going to slowly go forward on here. were these two gentlemen, to the guy in the white right here, and he's got a cell phone, and I don't know if he's recording out here in front of Charlie or what. And then the other gentleman that's standing next to him, right there in the black, look, his arm motions and stuff. It almost looks like he's either a catcher at a baseball game giving signals to the pitcher, or maybe he's a Navy SEAL trying to tell his team this, that, and the other. But these two gentlemen have raised a lot of suspicions, even though they're supposed to be on his security team. A lot of people were talking about these two. What are they doing, and who are they talking to? Because it happens, they do what they do with their hands, their hat, and they're touching stuff on their body, giving signals to someone, and then immediately after that, Charlie shot. So that's why I wanted to share this one, because that, if you read some of the comments underneath it, and I'm going to share this right here, this link, I'm going to share it in the chat, because it's the comments that people need to read, not just the video that they make, because there's content down here is pretty interesting. There's 243 comments right now, and it gives you lots of different perspective on what they're seeing when they watch this. But you got to remember too, you're going to have tons and tons and tons of trolls. They're like magnets to this stuff. So if you see something that pisses you off, just don't bother saying anything to those people. That's what they want. They want you to show fear, anger, whatever, to try to bring out the worst in you. So don't let them win. Don't let them win. So don't give them the time of day. Don't waste your time with those people. Okay, so I'm going to close that, and I'm going to go to this part real quick, and I'm going to put it in the chat real quick, that link for what I just shared. And then I'm going to go to the next one. This is another person that's talking about what's happening as it's unfolding from today. And I thought that it was a good point of view, and I wanted to share it with everyone. Charlie was the best of us. There you go.
Let's get one thing straight. They didn't murder Charlie Kirk because he was an extremist or a fascist or a threat to democracy or inciting violence or any of the other reasons that they're now trying to put out on X and TikTok and everywhere else. They murdered him because he was effective. He was effective. The man made incredible arguments while at the same time always trying to seek out common humanity. He might have disagreed with arguments, but he didn't hate anyone. And they murdered him. That's what happened. Let's get one.
See, that's his perspective, because he saw him as a person who was trying to get people to open their eyes, listen to facts, and learn from them. And he was murdered because of it. So that is his point of view. Because like I said earlier, I believe that he was murdered for politics. I do believe that. Even though he was a Christian, he was very outspoken about it. I still believe it had to do with politics, in my own personal decision. And other people think it's because he was a Christian. But, you know, we won't ever know if the guy dies. And also, honestly, a person that would do what he did by getting up on that roof and going through all that, would you actually believe anything he tells you anyways? If he told you, well, I killed him because of this, or I did this because of that, I'm sorry. I don't think I'd ever believe anything he had to say. So, but that's my point of view too. But this is the next thing I thought was interesting. Right here, I think this is it. Yeah, here we go. No, that's the last one, I think. Here we go. I think this is it. Let's see what this one is. This was that same link that I shared. I didn't realize I saved that one. I'm sorry about that, but let me get rid of it. Okay, sorry. It's so hard to keep these in order, even though I've been really trying. But every time you move any of these, the number changes. So you have it like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then when you change it a couple times, it changes the number, and then I have to go back and go, which one is this? So I make sure I got the right one. But here is one I thought it was very emotional for me, because anyone that knows Glenn Beck knows what I'm talking about. This person puts a lot of effort into everything he does, and I think he's very personable.
I was just about to record my show for tonight when I looked through the glass of my studio. My wife was standing there, and her face spoke volumes to me, and I said, "Stop, let's wait. I need to talk to my wife." My wife was on her phone with my daughter and my son, who were at a Charlie Kirk event today. And I have just received news that I'm not even going to repeat because I don't have it. Confirmed. We will confirm what's going on. And when we have solid information, we will bring it to you. And we will be live tonight at 9 with all of the information that you need to know. Please pray for my dear friend, Charlie, and his family, and our republic. Lord, we have been so arrogant as a people. We have been so distracted, but we would ask, Lord, that you would watch over Charlie and all those involved, that you would soften our hearts, that we might find forgiveness, strength, and courage. God, only you can save our republic. In the name of Jesus, we pray. We'll have more tonight at 9.
This was really hard on a lot of people, because Charlie touched so many people's hearts through his work. He was willing to do whatever he thought he had to help people, to share information. And now he's gone. He's gone forever. So it's up to us now. It's up to everyone to keep sharing what Charlie wanted to share with people, the truth and facts, and help give people the answers that they're asking for. And we have to try to make sure that we keep doing that. I try to do that. I'm not, just like Charlie, he was just a high school graduate. And he just wanted people to, get the information they asked for. And here's another person's perspective on what they believe about Charlie.
If Charlie had survived all those people talking shit and celebrating his death, he would have forgave you. Because that's the kind of person Charlie was. He's a better man than me, because my forgiveness and my acceptance has fucking run its course. But Charlie would have forgave each and every one of you. Even those of you saying the most awful shit all over the internet, commenting things on his wife's post about how happy you are that she doesn't have a husband, talking shit about his kids, but how happy you are they don't have a father. Charlie would have forgave you because that's in his heart to do that. Now, the rest of us won't. Rest of us don't, at least I can speak for myself. I don't have it in my heart to forgive you. But the internet is forever. And believe me, I know quite a few people that are doing everything they can to hunt down the name of every single person who said that shit. And I hope they get each and every one of you. See, like I said, Charlie would have forgave you. Yeah, fuck that. I want to see each and every one of you get everything you fucking deserve. But I just wanted you to know that even though that's how I think, that the man whose death you're cheering would have forgave you.
And see, that's another thing I've seen a lot of, is a lot of anger. A lot of people are very upset about what happened, and they have every right to be. But making a video or sitting down and talking about it with a bunch of other people and getting your anger out, that's the best way to deal with it. Get it off your chest so you can think clearer about what we need to do in our communities to make changes with this kind of things happening. And one thing we definitely have to do is we have to start prosecuting these people and stop giving people a slap on the wrist every time they break the law, because they definitely wouldn't give you a slap on the wrist, would they? So we've got to start fighting for our states. Now, here's another one that I watched. And I know a lot of people don't really like Alex Jones that much, but I like some of the stuff that he's done. I've never watched every single thing. I'm not one of those people. But I think that he does what he's supposed to do. That's who he is. This is what he does. And a lot of the things that he has talked about were true. So I figured I'd give him the benefit of the doubt and let him have his say too.
Steven Crowder is now exclusively reporting from ATF documents he got from the ATF confirmed that it was a trans shooter, they believe, because they found the rifle on the roof where we thought it came from, where everybody saw the person up there, left the rifle with all the trans carvings, just like the shooter up in Minneapolis a few weeks ago. And they've been calling for their days of rage. They have been building up. They're very suicidal. It's everybody's fault, and they've got to go out and kill. And so that's who they're after right now on the manhunt. We actually believe we know who it is. There was an individual that said on internet posts and social media that something big was going to happen that day who was trans. That's probably the main person, but there's going to be a lot more of this, folks. This is literally a zombie army of killers. And they're totally brainwashed. This is MK Ultra 2.0. Pray for Charlie Kirk and his family. Steven Crowder's been covering live on his show. I'm about to shoot a large report on this. Harrison Smith's about to go live at Infowars.com/show and right here on Real Jones. All the details. I'll be in the office early. There's so much breaking news. Stay with us and follow me here on X Real Jones. Thank you.
Well, I don't always approve of that type of thing because putting more fear in people when they're already fearful and sad or upset and angry over something that had just happened, and to tell them, at that moment that you're telling them the bad news, that there's hundreds of them, thousands more that are out to start killing you. Now, that doesn't mean I don't think it's true. It just means that it's just not a good time to do it when you're first giving someone information that someone who just died and that they found the weapon and what was on the weapon. But you don't need to add the extra tidbit of blackpilling to the person. So, think about that when you're sharing information. Who are you saying it to? And how much do you think this person can actually handle? We need to start trying to do that a little more to try to I'm not saying water it down. I'm just saying give out the information, wait a little bit, and then give out some more information like that. Give the people a chance to absorb the information and make good decisions with it and not go off half-cocked because now we're having a zombie apocalypse happening with a bunch of people with weapons, and they're going to start just mowing people down and having everybody out running around with guns looking for these people. to take out. So to me, that's just going to endanger more people. The best thing for you to do is know how to use your weapon, have a weapon, get the training, and keep it available in case you need it. That's the best thing right there. Then you keep yourself safe and you're ready and level-headed when it's time for you to use it. You're not walking around with your gun out waiting to shoot someone. You have it ready to use, and you have that few seconds to think about the decision you're about to make and what's the best one to do and how to do it. That's what we need to be thinking about. But this next thing I wanted to share was something else that came across my timeline. I don't know if it's this one or not. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's another individual's point of view, wanting to say his feelings about what happened with Charlie Kirk.
I've been having trouble making this video the last 5 hours because I keep thinking of a conversation that I had with Charlie Kirk when I met him at the RNC in Milwaukee. It was about this very thing being a possibility. Before I go any further, Erica, Charlie Kirk family and all, they'll have my deepest condolences, and I'm so sorry, Erica, that this happened to you guys today, because in no way, shape, manner, or form should this be happening in our country at all whatsoever. And Erica, I also want to thank you for giving us your husband, letting him be the seeker of the truth, because all Charlie ever wanted to do was be a godly man, be a good husband, be a good father, seeker of the truth. And he got killed for it. In Milwaukee, when I met him, we were talking about this very thing being a possibility because the left hate has escalated more and more every day. And if y'all remember, President Trump, he was almost taken out just days prior to me and Charlie Kirk's conversation. It was at that moment that I told Charlie, I said, bro, if that happens to me and I'm up in heaven, I'll be looking over all you patriots who are sitting here fighting to save my country, fighting to save my America, to keep the legacy of the America First agenda, the MAGA, the MAHA, so on and so forth going. He shook my hand and he said, same, brother. God bless you. I know times are dark, but coming from Charlie's mouth, he said, we just gotta keep fighting. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. We have a legacy to protect, a future to keep safe. And regardless of who hates that, we can't lose sight of what it is that we do and why we do it. We live in the greatest country in the world. The left, with their tactics today, their actions of showing how hateful they are in comment sections, celebrating what happened to Charlie today, this is where we get stronger. This is where we get louder. This is where we remember the legacy of Charlie Kirk and what he stood for. But more importantly, this is how we protect our constitutional republic, by not shooting someone because of their beliefs or a difference of opinion for that matter. The left has shown who they truly are. When midterms come around, everybody should be saying the name of Charlie Kirk as a reminder that what he was standing up for wasn't this. He was actually exposing the evil, hateful ways and ideologies of certain individuals, and they proved him right. To the Kirk family, we love you, we're here for you, and we're always praying for you.
I liked what he had to say when he said what Charlie was trying to share with everyone about the evil and but what happened to him yesterday proved him right about what he was trying to share in the first place. So think about that. Don't let the left push you to do something that you wouldn't normally do and prove them right about you. Don't let that happen. Think before you act, and we'll win. I think that's one reason why they didn't like Charlie, because Charlie was winning. He was a guy that got his high school diploma, and then he thought big, and he loved this country, and he became a Christian. All these things happened to him in his young life, and he started the Turning Point, and now he's dead. So he'll never get to take his daughters to the school dance. He'll get to see her his daughter or son go on their first date. Any of those things, they're gonna not have their dad for those events in their lives, and they're gonna keep living, and hopefully we'll keep trying to share and do things and try to be more like Charlie when it comes to some of our things that we do in our life, and make this country better because of it. But I thought this was a really heartfelt little video from this young man. It says Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA, and his death marks the turning point for our generation and nation. He championed life, values, church, and he gave his life for God's movement. Much like Jesus, who taught debate and sacrificed as his first martyr. What's next as a mighty move of God's Spirit drawing us to lead boldly? So here we go.
Charlie Kirk's organization was called Turning Point USA, and I know that that's not it's not an accident. And I believe that right now is actually the turning point that they were talking about. Now at the death of their president, which is awful, I think this is the turning point for our generation. I think this is the turning point for our country. I think that the things that Charlie Kirk talked about, the life, the values, the church, the movement of God again. I think all of these things that he was trying to turn around, I think this is the turning point. This is what Jesus did. Jesus taught, Jesus debated, and then what happened? Jesus gave his life as the first martyr for this gospel. And Charlie Kirk is by no means our savior, but it's an interesting representation that he would spend his whole life teaching and debating and trying to share the truth of the gospel, the truth that he gave his life for. And unless a seed dies and goes into to the ground, it does not bear seed. But if it dies, it multiplies. It bears much fruit. And Charlie Kirk gave his life. The U.S. is not going to encounter the next Charlie Kirk. That's not what's next. What's next is a mighty move of the Spirit of God. And the Spirit is going to rest on people. And I think all of that you're feeling right now, with Charlie Kirk's passing, with all that, I want to step up, that feeling, it is the Spirit drawing you. The Spirit is drawing you to lead your generation into the truth of Jesus Christ. I think this is what's next. So let's be praying right now. Let's spend our time praying for our country. And then after we pray, go out and do it. Don't worry about if you're qualified. What did they say in the Acts? That they were uneducated. They saw the boldness of Peter and John. Look, that's the verse right here, the one I wanted. And now when they saw the boldness of Peter and John and perceived that they were uneducated and untrained men, they marveled and they realized that they had been with Jesus. People who have an encounter with the Holy Spirit of God, even though they're uneducated and untrained, people marvel at them. And this is that burning that you're feeling on the inside right now. So let's pray for our nation. Let's pray for our generation, and let's go ahead and step out. And then just tell people about Jesus. Amen.
Oh, it just makes me feel so good to see another young person that maybe with his excitement and his love for Jesus and God and his love for a person that he looked up to, like Charlie Kirk, that maybe one day he might want to be like him and try to make a difference, in his own way, like Charlie did. And that to me was very inspiring for this young man to do that. But this next thing I want to share was the actual call that the police department received right after the shooting. And I wanted to share that because it's very emotional too, but it kind of gives you an idea where it all started. And it's I don't know. It's just, to me, it's surreal. It's like it's shocking, all this stuff happening, the way it's happening and the way it's unfolding. But all these people, got to remember, someone's got to make a phone call to 911. They send people out, and they got to start trying to figure the whole thing out. But here we go.
Just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle. Is on top of the building on the far north side, just east of the library, wearing jeans, black shirt, black vest.
Copy. Can you confirm with PD, do they have the shooter in custody?
Or DPS is requesting us try and get that motorcycle stopped, maybe a suspect in that shooting. What was your traffic?
Is possibly a suspect from the shooting, and we can try and get that vehicle stopped. I got the description you were looking for on the difference of the mail. And on units, the description on the mail is all in black, long pants, black bag, aviator style, sunglasses with a long gun. Information was given at 13:26.
And they're still looking for him. Do they think he's in this building? They're thinking this building right now?
No. We have cameras that show that he left campus.
So that was one of the things that, see how frustrating that was? You had so much different information come from so many different people all at one time calling 911. And people's energies were high, their adrenaline's flowing through their system. You also have all the people that jumped on top of Charlie, put pressure on his neck, and then ran him out to a vehicle and put him in an SUV to take him to the emergency room. You had campus cops running around. You had PD showing up. Then you had them making a phone call, and the FBI getting involved. And it's just one thing after the other. So we have to try the best we can to share information. If you have anything you think is pertinent, call them and give them the information, or share your video, your cell phone. Go back and watch. If you were at the event, go back and look at the stuff that you have and see if you can send it to them, because there might be something in there they're already looking for, but you don't know what's in there. See, because you're not in their position to get the information that they already have. So there's little things like that you can do. But I want to share this, because this was something I was really surprised about, because it was heartwarming to me to see our vice president do this. And it was so respectful. I thought, this is our vice president of the United States carrying Charlie Kirk's casket. And I think they're taking it to put on Air Force Two, so they can fly him and his wife, Charlie's body and his wife, back to Arizona. So I'm going to share this, but this was made me so proud of my vice president. To me, that shows respect for someone that was murdered, basically. And I'm proud that my vice president would take the time out of his busy schedule to do that for somebody like Charlie. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you hadn't seen it. I thought it was really good. And then the next, I only have a couple more things left here, and then I'll let you guys go do whatever it is that you want to do at this time of night. Just 1 second, I pushed the wrong button again. So bad at this. But this is the a picture showing Charlie being flown out in Air Force Two, carrying his casket, and his wife, Erica, and their 2 children. They all flew in this plane to go home. And that to me is, I think this is very honorable of our president and vice president to do this for this family. And what's interesting is I've done a couple shows, and I've had it on the Friday Night Shit Show, about how President Trump, before he was president, did that for people. That he would have his plane pick up someone and take them somewhere and drop them off because they were in need. They were in need to get somewhere as quickly as they could. So he was a good person then, and he still is a good person. It's just people don't want to trust him for whatever reason that they have. But I'm hoping that after the end of his 4 years, people are going to look back and say, wow, I misjudged him. I'm really hoping for that, because that's just how I feel. And I was a Ben Carson girl, so just letting you know, he's won me over for now. As long as he keeps doing what he's doing, I don't feel, I'm not embarrassed at all to say that I voted for Trump 3 times. And I think he's doing a great job as of today. For me, I am proud that he's my president. And I don't know what else to say about that. But this is the last thing I wanted to bring up. It was the last article that I saw that came across my timeline. And I thought it was like my latest update I could give, because I haven't heard anything since I watched this because I've been busy. But I just wanted to, this is where they put the photo and stuff out for the shooter. So I wanted to make sure you guys could see this. This is my last one, my last thing for everyone to see.
Okay, so for more on all this, let's bring in Paul Morrow now, retired NYPD inspector and Fox News contributor who just landed on the ground there. Paul, please do give us your take on what you've been able to learn since you've arrived.
So right now, it seems like this is going the way we were talking about last night on the air, which is that they tracked the video likely all the way to the point that maybe even they have the perpetrator leaving campus. At that point, it goes a little bit darker. That's why they were out canvassing last night. That reporting was accurate. They were out looking around in the neighborhood late into the night, asking people, did you see anybody in the backyard? That's undoubtedly how they got the gun. My question right now is the following. If, in fact, that is where the shooter goes dark, did he have a means of egress at that point? In other words, a bike, a motorcycle, a car, something like that to get him out of the vicinity, because that makes things a lot harder. The other thing I would mention is, let's just be cautious about the photo that they released. Number one, we've had a couple of false leads already, which is fine. That's how cases go. No pejorative there. But let's see what comes back on this thing, because that could be a photo from some time previous. If you're going to do this kind of thing, and you're looking at video of somebody accessing that roof, and that's undoubtedly not the first time this person's been on the roof. They're not going to leave that to chance. Well, then this could be video from, let's say, a week before the event, which makes it a little bit softer as far as accuracy. So we have to just wait to see what they do here. I'd like to see video as opposed to a still, because a walk can be very, very dispositive. And if nobody recognizes him now, well, they'll recognize the walk.
Well, apparently they do have video that they're holding right now. They're not releasing it, that they did release these photos. But what you said right there, Paul, brings up a point that Jonathan Hunt was making to me, our senior correspondent, in a conversation that he and I were having. And that is that in those photos, this person of interest appears to be carrying a backpack. But Jonathan Hunt makes the point that probably even broken down for cleaning, would a .30-06 hunting rifle fit into that backpack? And does this speak to the idea that maybe the weapon had been pre-positioned, that this was really thought out over time and not just on the day?
Yeah, I think that's a salient point. You know, the received wisdom a little bit upon the discovery of the screwdriver was that it was used for breaking down the rifle and then getting out of there, or bringing it broken down and assembling it on the roof. That leaves a lot of vulnerability. I mean, for all we know, the screwdriver was used to jimmy the lock to get up onto the roof. So, you know, we do have to be a little bit cautious about our leaps here in logic, but certainly a possibility. You could have had it secreted there without question. So We do know that the person left the campus holding the rifle because they have it. By now, they will have matched it to the round that unfortunately took Charlie's life. So they know they got the gun, and they're saying that. So I think we can lean on that heavily. So there's likely images of him leaving with that gun, which tells me that probably images of him coming in. That doesn't mean, though, that that's the image we have. They probably looked at their universe of images and said, release the best one we have. So that might not be the suspect on the way in. That's what you do. You release the best thing you have in hopes that somebody makes a recognition.
I mean, we hope that they're getting as many phone calls as possible based on what they provided. And we do know, Paul, that we're getting this update. It just got pushed back a little bit, but we still expect within the next hour or so that there will be a press conference, and perhaps it getting pushed back means that they're getting new information.
Undoubtedly. I mean, look, they're getting a ton of leads on this, and now that this image has come out and they've been pushing out the phone numbers to call, undoubtedly people are calling in. So a lot of them are going to be false, as we all know, but they're hoping that one of them is accurate, and they may very well right now even have a name. We don't know. So they're undoubtedly doing that. One point I would raise also, though, is the stuff about the palm print. I don't know where that was left, but here's why that could be very important. If you got a palm print and it's good enough, you can pull DNA, and there's your confirmatory. And so then you have, hook, line, and sinker. You got both ends of this thing. And then I wouldn't be surprised if and when they get this person, you get a confession, because this is undoubtedly a political assassination. This is how people like this talk to the world. And I wouldn't be surprised that it's the perpetrator, him or herself, who ultimately tells us what really went on.
This is how they talk to the world as opposed to how Charlie Kirk talked to the world. And that was through dialogue and debate. Different worlds altogether.
Exactly.
Paul, thanks so much. We'll let you gather some more information.
So I thought that was very good because
All right, former FBI investigator Bill Daly also with us. Bill, what do you think?
Sorry about that. The thing is that when you get someone that can explain things like that, that's always good, because it does help regular people like me be able to understand a lot of things that I probably wouldn't have understood before, simply because I couldn't piece it together or understand certain facts, right? So to have somebody explain that to you that way is really, really good. And yeah, that's exactly what some people I was talking to was saying, that when you're trying to get up and down, up on the top of a building, especially one that's got a slanted roof, that you're going to probably have your handprints on there, which is surprising to me, because you think that someone who plans so hard to fulfill, something like this that they want to do, is they're dreaming about it day and night or whatever, that they didn't wear gloves. You know what I mean? So, like that guy that killed those 4 students in Idaho, him leaving the knife, sheath at the scene with his DNA and everything on it. I guess we should be thankful that these people aren't very smart, that they make mistakes. And as long as we have more people that are better educated and trained to find these mistakes, we're going to be able to keep catching these people. So I just want to thank you to everyone. And I hope that maybe this information will help you realize that our people that we put in office are doing the best they can to try to get this put together. Now, it may not be the best of the best of the best, or we're not as happy about it as we should be, because they don't have the guy yet that we know of. But maybe they do have him. This is what I was thinking about. Maybe they do have the guy, but they want whoever helped him along somewhere, that they feel that maybe if they think he's still out there, maybe they'll keep sending stuff out there to try to take him out, to keep him quiet. And that way they might be able to capture those people too. So I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not a police officer. I'm not an FBI agent or anything like that. But I just really, I just want to see him brought to justice for these things. I'm still waiting for someone to be brought to justice, basically, for the whole assassination attempt on Trump. I would like to find out, how that was able to happen. All those people that were shot, all the gaps, especially when it was like almost 7 minutes of time where people were yelling, "With someone on the roof with a gun," and there's supposed to be Secret Service there. He's wandering on a roof for over 6 minutes. Yeah, that's kind of suspicious to me. So, and the fact that this guy was on a roof too, and no police officers were on other roofs looking at the other roofs. I just am shocked by that. So I'm hoping that we can learn some stuff from this and this doesn't ever happen again, because we've got to stop this stuff. We've got to figure out a way to stop it. But I just want to say thank you, everyone. And I hope you guys have a wonderful evening. And I hope you're excited about tomorrow being Friday. So the weekend's about to start. So thank you very much, and God bless America.
If you wear nice clothes, people think you're showing off. If you wear simple clothes, people think you're poor. If you speak your mind, you're rude. If you stay quiet, then you're a coward. If you're successful, then you're arrogant. And if you're struggling, then you're lazy. You see, no matter what you do in life, people will always have something to say. So ignore people and their opinions. Because so long as your God is pleased with you, who cares what people think?
He knows that this is much bigger than him. This is about the American people. They have no idea what they have unleashed. He was ready to go face the cameras and come out swinging.
What will future Americans say we did in our brief time here on Earth? It will be defined by your vision, your perseverance, and your grit. Nothing will sway us, nothing will slow us, and no one will ever stop us. We are Americans. Ambition is our heritage. Greatness is our birthright. And the future belongs to us.